The old house creaked and groaned around me. Shadows danced in the corners as the sun began to set. I was house-sitting for my grandma. Her presence still lingered in the air, a faint scent of lavender and chamomile tea. The house always felt a little eerie when she was gone, but I tried to be brave. After all, it was just me, a few dusty antiques, and the sound of the wind whistling through the old oak tree outside my window. As night fell, the shadows grew longer, stretching across the walls like grasping claws. I curled up on the couch with a book, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. Every creak of the floorboards, every rustle of leaves outside the window, sent shivers down my spine. I tried to ignore it, telling myself it was just my imagination. But deep down, a knot of unease tightened in my stomach. Around midnight, I finally drifted off to sleep, only to be jolted awake by a strange sound. It was a soft whisper, barely audible, coming from somewhere outside my window. My heart pounded in my chest as I strained to hear. The whisper came again, a little louder this time, a mix of murmuring and hushed laughter. Fear coiled in my stomach, cold and tight. I slowly got out of bed, my bare feet sinking into the plush carpet. My hand trembled as I reached for the curtain, hesitant to see what might be lurking outside in the darkness. What if it was just an animal, or the wind playing tricks on me? But a small, insistent voice inside my head told me this was something different, something far more unsettling. Taking a deep breath, I pulled back the curtain, peering out into the night. The old oak tree swayed in the breeze, its branches casting long, distorted shadows across the lawn. And then I saw her. A woman stood beneath the tree, her back to me, her head tilted at an unnatural angle. Her long, dark hair cascaded down her back, almost reaching the ground. She was wearing a long white dress that seemed to glow faintly in the moonlight. For a moment, she just stood there, unmoving, and then she slowly began to turn towards me. My breath caught in my throat as the woman turned, her face illuminated by the pale moonlight. Her features were striking, high cheekbones, piercing blue eyes, and a smile that sent a shiver down my spine. It wasn't a kind smile, but a twisted, almost predatory grin that stretched across her face like a crack in a porcelain doll. Her eyes locked onto mine, and a wave of icy fear washed over me. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. It felt as if she was looking straight through me, into my soul. And then she took a step closer, her smile widening as she did. Panic surged through me. I stumbled back from the window, my heart pounding in my ears. I wanted to scream, to run, but my legs felt like lead. This wasn't real, it couldn't be. It was like something out of a nightmare, a figment of my overactive imagination. But the woman's chilling smile, the way she seemed to glide towards the house, told me otherwise. She was real, and she was coming for me. I fumbled with the window latch, my hands shaking so badly I could barely grasp it. Finally, it slammed shut, and I quickly locked it, as if that would be enough to keep her out. I raced back to my room, my mind racing, trying to make sense of what I had just seen. I huddled under the covers, my body trembling. I had to tell someone, to get help. I grabbed my phone and dialed my grandma's number. The phone rang and rang, each ring echoing the frantic beat of my heart. Finally, she answered, her voice groggy with sleep. "Hello? Grandma, it's me," I whispered, my voice shaking. "There's someone outside, a woman." She was staring at me through the window. I could hear the concern in my grandma's voice as I told her what I had seen. To my surprise, she didn't dismiss it as a bad dream or an overactive imagination. Instead, she told me about a similar experience she had years ago when she first moved into the house. Section 7. Shared experiences. Grandma described a woman in a white dress, the same chilling smile, the same piercing blue eyes. She had seen her outside her window too, just a fleeting glimpse, but enough to leave her shaken and terrified. She had never told anyone, fearing they wouldn't believe her. Hearing her story sent chills down my spine. It wasn't just me. This wasn't just a random, isolated incident. There was something more to it, something sinister and unexplained. The thought that this woman had been haunting the house for years, watching, waiting, sent a wave of icy fear through me. What did she want? Why was she here? Section 8. Lingering fear. Grandma tried to reassure me, telling me she had never seen the woman again after that night, but her words did little to calm my fear. I knew deep down that the woman in white was still out there, somewhere in the darkness, and that she wouldn't be easily forgotten. The rest of the night was a blur of tossing and turning, every creak of the house, every rustle of leaves outside my window, sending me into a fresh wave of panic. I kept the lights on, seeking comfort in their artificial glow, but the shadows seemed to deepen, the silence to grow louder. I knew I wouldn't be able to sleep, not while the memory of the woman's chilling smile was still fresh in my mind. Section 9. Unanswered questions. The next morning, the sun streamed through the windows, chasing away the shadows of the night. I felt exhausted, drained by the previous night's events. The fear was still there, but it was dulled by the daylight, pushed to the back of my mind. I tried to convince myself that it had all been a bad dream, a trick of the light and my own exhaustion. But deep down, I knew the truth. The woman in white was real, and she was connected to this house, to my grandma, and now to me. The question was, why? What did she want? And would she be back? Section 10. A haunting reminder. I left my grandma's house later that day, eager to return to my own home, to the familiar and the safe. But I knew I wouldn't forget my time there, wouldn't forget the chilling encounter with the woman in white. She had left her mark on me, a haunting reminder that some things can't be explained, some mysteries are best left unsolved. And as I drove away, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched, that somewhere, hidden in the shadows, the woman in white was watching me, her chilling smile a haunting reminder of the secrets that lurked within the walls of my grandma's house.